was looking for in particular, did the Prophet ﷺ go beyond the Sidrat al-Muntaha alone, or was he accompanied by Jibreel? And I've looked in as many sources as I could, and I have access to, I could not find anything except for an indirect reference, and that is in Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet ﷺ says, ثُمَّ عُرِجَ بِي حَتَّى ظَهَرْتُ لِمُسْتَوًا أَسْمَعُ فِيهِ صَرِيفَ الْأَقْلَامِ. Then I was caused to ascend forth in the singular. Not Jibreel brought me forward, because before that it was always Jibreel is bringing with me, and Jibreel tells me this is Sidrat al-Muntaha. Once he gets to Sidrat al-Muntaha, the Prophet ﷺ speaks in the third person that someone caused me to ascend, not Jibreel anymore. And I rose to a level where I could hear the pen writing. Now, what is the pen and who is the writer? We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the first thing that Allah created was the pen. And then Allah told the pen, uktub. So the pen asked Allah, what should I write? And Allah said, write everything that will happen until the end, until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Write everything. So the pen is being written directly by the command of Allah. There is no scribe doing the writing. The pen is a creation of Allah that is doing the writing. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, I rose to a level where I could hear the pen being inscribed. Allahu A'lam, we can assume from this that the Prophet ﷺ rose beyond the Sidrat al-Muntaha alone. For two reasons. Number one, Jibreel is not mentioned at all. Jibreel is mentioned as having shown himself in his original form. Where? At the Sidra. At the Sidra, right? That's what the Prophet ﷺ said, that once the Sidra has basically been shown, then I saw Jibreel. So it is as if now Jibreel has left off his shackles. He is now free to be who he is, but that's all he can be, at the Sidra. Then the Prophet ﷺ says in the singular, then I, biya, singular, I was caused to ascend up. There is no mention of Jibreel at all. Until I could hear the pen. Who is doing the writing? There is no angel above the Sidrat al-Muntaha. There is no living creature above the Sidrat al-Muntaha as far as we know. That's where everything stops. Now we hear that the Prophet ﷺ has gone beyond this. And therefore, it is, inshallah, legitimate to say that the Prophet ﷺ went to a level that no living creature has ever been to as far as we know. No living creature. He went beyond Jibreel, he went beyond even the Sidrat al-Muntaha, and he heard the divine pen as it was writing in the book that Allah Azza wa Jalla has with him. Because the Prophet ﷺ says that,
do you want to grow your YouTube channel? You should consider.
Wrote in a book that he has with him. كِتَابٌ عِنْدَهُ فَوْقَ عَرْشِهِ. There is a book that Allah has above the throne. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, I rose to a level, I could hear the pen inscribing in the book. Who else is there in this audience other than the owner of the throne and the one who tells the pen to write? So this was an elite audience, the likes of which we don't know ever occurred with any other being, any other creature. But we don't have any details about what was said except for the 50 salawat. Even though we can assume that other things were also said. But the only thing that has been reported to us is that the Prophet ﷺ said that 50 salawat were prescribed for me. And then from there we go on to what everybody knows, right? So this particular, and this is the pinnacle, and perhaps there is a wisdom that what happened is something that is private. What happened is something that is so precious, that is so noble, that is such a blessed gift that the Prophet ﷺ doesn't need or want to tell us. And that is something that only Allah and the Prophet ﷺ know the full conversation, what took place. And that is perhaps a wisdom as well. What do we know of this conversation? Just one thing. And that is, Allah told him to pray 50 times. That Allah Azza wa Jal, فُرِضَتْ عَلَيَّ, the Prophet ﷺ said, فُرِضَتْ عَلَيَّ الصَّلَوَاتُ خَمْسِينَ صَلَاةً كُلَّ يَوْمٍ. 50 salawat every single day. Now you know the story from here. And he goes back down and he meets Musa. Now he must have passed by Ibrahim, because Ibrahim's in the 7th, right? Musa's in the 6th. He must have passed by. Ibrahim says nothing. Why not? Two reasons. Number one, Ibrahim alayhi salam is at a higher level, and it is not in the nature of Ibrahim to يعترض or to try to